Now, in recent weeks, as Norman has said, the No campaign has used increasingly desperate tactics to try and scare people into keeping things the way they are. They say it's too complicated. In fact, it's really simple. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. The world won't stop spinning on its axis, you know, when people put 1, 2, 3 on a ballot paper rather than a cross. And if you only want to vote for one person, then you still can. They use a form of AV in Australia. We use it to elect the Mayor of London. It's used by millions across Britain in businesses, charities, trade unions, and even TV talent shows. It's used to elect the leaders of the Labour Party and the Conservative Party. The Conservatives seem to think that what is good for them is not good enough for you. I've even heard some of my Conservative cabinet colleagues making the bizarre claim that AV will help the BNP. This is the opposite of the truth. AV will make it harder for extremist parties because only those who can appeal to a majority of voters in a constituency can win. Nick Griffin knows this. That's why the BNP is campaigning for a no vote. The truth is, Conservatives of all parties have always fought reform all along the way. They tried to stop women being given the vote. They tried to block the lowering of the voting age. And now they are scaremongering to stop a simple step forward in our democracy. There are those in the Labour Party who oppose AV. They are trying to block progress. The John Prescotts, David Blunkett's, John Reeds and Michael Martins are in the bizarre situation of fighting a campaign that gets the vast majority of its funding from the big Tory donors that they always used to criticise. Labour no campaigners are the means to Conservative ends. Look at the company they're keeping. The only political parties supporting the status quo, supporting first past the post, are the Conservative Party, the Communist Party and the BNP. The contrast with the cross-party Yes campaign speaks volumes. I would rather side with progressives in all parties than the old establishment and the lunatic fringe any day of the week. Look, it's worth asking why the No campaign are going around fibbing to you. Why are they going around pulling the wool over people's eyes? Why are they treating people like fools, somehow thinking that people can be distracted from the real issue at hand by what is basically a tissue of fabrications and fiction? Why are they doing that? They're doing it because it is in their desperate vested interest to keep things the way they are. It's a really nice cushy number to be returned to a job, election after election after election, by a minority of people in your own constituency. That's why they like it. And that's why they've opposed, and that's why small C Conservatives across the British political spectrum have opposed reform and greater democracy every time we've tried to upgrade and update the way we do things in this country. And they're doing it again this time. And I don't think people are that daft. I think people will see the fibs and the lies for what they are. Let's rehearse this. Which are the political parties that are in favour of keeping first past the post? The Conservatives, the Communists and the BNP. Right. Now, what does that tell you? What does that tell you? You're either a reactionary or you're a fruitcake if you want to keep the current system.
How are we going to get through to the people who seem to be quite a large number at the moment who are undecided? Because we're here, we're listening to you. How are we going to get through to those people?
Well, holding events like this, but most importantly of all, I think getting out on the doorstep, speaking to people. There is such a barrage of willful misinformation now, which is being put out by the No campaign. I think it's a very ugly campaign. I think it's one based on fiction, fibs, lies, and we need to get out there onto the doorstep and explain to people in simple terms, this is a small change. It keeps what people like about the current system. That's the great virtue of it. It doesn't redraw the map. It keeps constituencies. You still have great MPs who will have their constituency surgeries every week, and you'll still be able to go and see them. You'll have one MP per constituency. It's incredibly simple, but it just means that MPs have to work that much harder.